Alright, what's up YouTube? This is the first time I've ever recorded with a phone. I usually record with an iPad, but the iPad broke. I already dropped it one time and it cracked a little bit, and then the other day I accidentally jumped on it. It was on my bed and I jumped on my bed and I landed out with my elbow, and like all my weight came down on the screen and it cracked. So doesn't work anymore. I'll have to get a new one or get the screen replaced. I don't know how bad the damage is, but I know there's damage to the LCD cable, so yeah. But for this video, a lot happened. The last couple days have been crazy, and I'm actually showing you this container right here because I have fish in here. It's been that crazy. Nothing new has happened with the flower horn. Here's his tank. Here he is. Nothing new with him. Everything's good. Just show him for a little bit for the people that like to see him. There's a little bit of food in the water I fed him not too long ago. Kind of a lot changed in here, and here. Alright, so in here I had the third batch of convict fry and the parents. The first time they spawned was in here. They spawned in that cave, and the other fish ate the babies, and I took the parents out and I put them in here. Then they spawned, and I moved the parents down here, and they spawned a third time in here. Now I took the fry from the second spawn and put them down here, which is every fish you see. And trust me, there's a lot of them are in the cave, and most of them are behind that sponge. You can't see them, but there's probably about 80 fish in here. My phone isn't picking up most of them. The ones you see are all from the second batch. The ones from the third batch are really small and kind of hard to pick up with this phone, so you're not going to be able to see them, but they're still really small, so can't really see them. They're also camouflaged with the gravel, but all these bigger ones that you could see on here are from the second batch. I caught every single fish, and it probably took me over an hour, considering they're so tiny in the gravel, and they go in the cracks of the gravel, and I had to try to not scoop up any of the gravel because I don't want to mix the white and brown gravel. If I didn't care about mixing the gravel, I could have done it really quick, but I'm picky about that, so I didn't want to do that. And the fish crawled in the gravel, and that took a long time to catch all of them, and they're super fast, and yeah, it was really hard. So all the babies are down here, the second and third batch. The third batch didn't do as good as the second, because I'll explain in a bit, but they didn't have a heater, and some of them died, and I suspect a decent amount got eaten since I kept them with the parents. I think they ate some. But there are still some from the third batch. I think there's about 25 in here, and then from the second batch, I don't know, at least 40. So I don't know, something like that, but yeah. So all the convict fry are down here. I fed them earlier, they're all eating. It's an old pantyhose over the filter. That's because some of them were able to go under the sponge and got sucked up and died, a couple of them, so I put that over there to kind of prevent that, and it's worked good so far because I did lose a couple of them that way. And yeah, here's all the convicts. Like I said, majority of them are hiding, so, but yeah, you get the point. And they're all eating good, so yeah, they're doing good. Now what I did with the parents was I moved the parents in here. I got a filter set up on here. It's dark so you can't really see, but there's a filter right here, and here's the bucket. There's a heater. I only got a 50 watt in here, and I just threw a random rock in here because that's really all I have. And I think the convicts both went inside the rock, so that's kind of the point of it, so they can hide. But convicts aren't super picky, so the heater won't do a great job because it's only a 50 watt, and I think I got about probably 15 gallons of water in here. maybe not that much, probably 10, 15. So it's not going to heat it that well, but convicts are hardy fish, so they'll be alright. But the reason I have the convicts in here is because I don't want to keep them up, which if I didn't have a fish in here, I would have them up here and have all the babies down there. But I put my green terror in here. He's in here by himself. Now you're probably wondering why the green terror is in here if you watch my videos. I just moved him in here like an hour ago. He's doing fine. The reason I moved him in here is because he's picking on a new fish I got in here. And you're probably wondering why I got a new fish in here. And why I got a new fish in here is because I got rid of a fish and the fish died. There's a new fish. I just got him today. I got him at my pet store. I got him for free because I traded in the Jack Dempsey that I had down here. So unfortunately, the last video I made was the last time you'll ever see him. Well, actually I do have like a minute and a half video of him at the pet store in the tank because I got rid of him. Now I'll explain why I got rid of him. I'm basically backtracking. The first thing that happened was here's the big Oscar. The black Oscar unfortunately died. The black tiger Oscar. This is the albino one. The reason he died was he got killed. The Jack Dempsey is who I suspect killed him. If you guys know, for people who watch my videos, I haven't done anything to this tank in a long time. All the fish have been in here for close to a year was the last time I added fish, so everything was good, everything was balanced. There weren't too many fish and they weren't too big to where they're kind of overdoing the bio load where it was just too much waste. But I had enough fish in here where the tank was full. So everything was great. But what happened was, out of the blue, somebody just really beat up, and I mean really beat up, the other Oscar, the black one, which was about the same size as this one. This one here is probably about 8 inches, maybe 8.5, something like that. The other one was just a tad smaller, maybe half an inch smaller. And I suspect it was a Jack Dempsey, but it could have been this Oscar. Could have possibly even been the green terror, but it was happening at night. Whoever attacked them and beat them up really bad. And it's weird because these fish were together for so long and I didn't have really any problem, just a little bit of fighting. But out of nowhere, I think it was the Jack Dempsey because I've seen him be pretty aggressive. He's pretty nasty. Somebody really beat up the black Oscar. So what I did was I took the black Oscar out. I put him in here. At the time, obviously by himself. I filled this up about same as this, 15 gallons of water. I set up a filter. I did the correct dosage. I did about 10 milliliters of Melifix. It's a really good medicine. It's for fish. It does a lot of stuff, but it's good for like cuts, wounds, and damaged fins. And I had two 50-watt heaters in here because my 100-watt wasn't working, which is unfortunate, but it sucks. It just wasn't working. And yeah, so I had two 50 watts, which were able to keep it at about 76. But I had the tiger Oscar in here. I mean, he was like on life support. He got beat up bad. His skin, or his scales, were pretty much all ripped off on the sides. But when I first took him out of the tank, he didn't look that bad. But as I put him in here, his scales started falling off, and you could see he got beat up worse than I thought. And on the third day, I switched the heaters. I switched 250 watts to a brand new 100 watt, and that 100 watt, the brand new one, didn't work. Some of the cheap shit from China doesn't work. That's why certain brands are reliable and certain ones aren't. But the temperature fell, which, I mean, his death was kind of inevitable. He probably was going to die anyways, but the temperature dropping didn't help, and he died during that. He lasted 3 days and then he died, which is bad because he was about a year old, and at that point he was big, so you can't really get Oscars as big as him. They don't really sell Oscars this big, and if they do, they're usually about $20-25. And it's really rare to see them at the pet store this big, like 8-9 inches, unless people bring them in. And usually fish that people bring in are beat up or not healthy. are expensive, so, and they don't look as good. You get to pick out your own when they're small. But yeah, he died. So I got rid of the Jack Dempsey today. I brought him to my pet store just because my grandpa kind of recommended it too. He's the one who got me into fish keeping, but he said yeah, because the Jack Dempsey was probably the problem, and he's the cheapest fish in this tank. So he looked nice. He was a nice looking Jack Dempsey, and he was fully grown, a nice big male, but he was a fish that I could lose and not really feel too bad about. So I got rid of him. I brought him in that blue container to my work at the pet store, and I dumped him off, and I asked my boss if it's okay if I trade him out, because they're probably going to sell him for about 15-20 bucks if I trade him out for a small Oscar, and he said sure, no problem. So we had different kinds of Oscars. We had like one albino tiger, but I already got one, so I didn't want that. I wanted a black one, and I didn't want to get another tiger Oscar because that's basically just replacing the old one. I didn't want to do that. It's like the same thing. So I got a red Oscar, which is black, but instead of having a tiger pattern, it kind of just has an all red pattern. He's a little beat up right now. He's eating good though. He ate when I brought him in here, and he ate good at the pet store. But we had like 10 tigers, and we had like 3 red Oscars. And I picked out what I thought was the nicest looking red Oscar. Red Oscars were $12.99, and the regular ones were 10, or the tigers were 10. But I got it free because I traded the Jack Dempsey. So I took a red Oscar, so it's different than the old one, and I feel like I got something different. So yeah, he ate when at the pet store. We fed him dead guppies. My boss threw some in there just because he had dead guppies, and usually he just feeds them the fish. So he gave him to his Oscars. But reason the green terror is in the 10-gallon here by himself is because when I put this Oscar in, he's small, and I kind of feared that the other fish might bother him, and the green terror was going after him, chasing around, picking on him, which is why he's kind of just hiding there. He's scared of the green terror still. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the green terror in here. I'll give it about a week or two, and once he settles, the Oscar here, he should start eating and swimming around good and get more comfortable, as long as no other fish pick on him. And maybe I'll try to add the green terror again, and if the green terror still bothers him, that's a problem. That means I'll probably have to get rid of him. But hopefully everything turns out fine. And the green terror didn't like him because he was like small and easy to pick on, and they don't like new fish. Green terrors are pretty nasty, and anytime they see a fish smaller or weaker than them, they usually just go after it and want to kill it. So yeah, he didn't like this Oscar being added in his territory. But yeah, you could see he's small. He's only about 2 inches. At max 2.5. I'd probably say 2. See how small he is compared to the heater. And yeah, he's been in here a couple hours. I brought him home with me. I bagged him myself, caught him myself at the pet store. I have pictures of that. But yeah, here he is. I'll update you guys. He ate right away, even though the green terror was picking on him. I threw some cichlid pellets in there, and he ate some. But yeah, I took the green terror out to leave him alone. And ever since I took the green terror out, all the fish look more comfortable, and the Jack Dempsey. The fish look more comfortable. The jaguar is swimming around a lot. He used to only stay on the left side of the tank, but he was swimming around a lot, even on the right side. So I guess the fish kind of had their own territories. The Jack Dempsey kind of liked to stay under the rock. The green terror liked the black rocks. And the Jack Dempsey, the jaguar sort of stayed under the log or the woodwork right there by the Jack Dempsey. But now he's swimming around. So the fish got more room. And hopefully nobody picks on this red Oscar. And I'll update you guys. I didn't want him. He's a little bit beat up from the green terror. He has like a scratch or two. But yeah. Hopefully he does alright. I'll do an update video on him. And yeah. I'll post the video of the Jack Dempsey at the pet store. It's just a short video of him in the tank because I got rid of him. So yeah. Black tiger Oscar unfortunately died. I had him for almost a year. I think it was a female. This was the male. And I got rid of the Jack Dempsey. And then I moved the convicts. I moved the green terror. and I moved the convict's parents, and I got the new Oscar here. So this video is long. I would do more footage of the new Oscar, the red Oscar, but it's already 15 minutes. This is a really long video, so I'm going to have to cut it off here, and I'll do an update pretty soon on how everything's going. Thanks for watching.